Hello and welcome to another episode of The Card Show. Hope everyone is well. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about the news that's probably been circulating around your social medias lately, and that is the Fanatics getting the rights to the World Cup products from 2031. I think the biggest takeaway was the fact that there's going to be debut patches won in this World Cup, which will be used from 19 to 2031, which is kind of crazy. So the Lamine Yamal's debut World Cup patch will be in a card in 5 years' time, which is kind of crazy to think. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like Panini's had that sort of thing, right? It's always been Panini since 1970. So yeah, it's a massive change. The takeover has well and truly been completed, right? I don't think there's much else for Top to do now. I'm sure they'll take darts at some point and move into something else and something else and something else. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Fanatics? FIFA rights from 2031. Obviously, the big news. I think it was released Wednesday or something like that. I was on holiday in Spain at the time, so I thought I would address it on this pod, talk about my thoughts, feelings on it, and hopefully get your feedback throughout the week as well. I think the whole deal in general was inevitable, right? I think we saw this coming. We knew that the juggernaut of Fanatics Tops wasn't going to stop. They're going to, dominate this market in any way they can. The interesting one is the debut patches in this World Cup that will be used in 5 years' time. It's a strange one. I heard there was something similar with the Wemby set, right? Because Victor Wembanyama had a set with tops, which was just him, the autos, and it had his jersey from games he'd won in some of the cards, and obviously his autos because he was a tops signee, but obviously he couldn't use licensed jerseys on the card. So a lot of them were never tastefully done, sort of you couldn't really notice. And there's rumours that there is a rookie patch auto, like for legit, that just didn't surface or didn't get released in the first wave, whatever it may be. And it's actually that's like his only true rookie logo. I think is it a logo man? Rookie logo man auto. It's kind of crazy. Also, you couldn't use a logo man without being, part of the NBA, which he's not licensed to. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think this could happen in 5 years' time with Lamine Yamal. We could have a Lamine Yamal rookie World Cup card with a debut patch in it 5 years after his World Cup debut, which is crazy. I suppose Nico Riley maybe, because hopefully don't put rookie on the Yamal one, but someone like Nico Riley for City, Manchester there maybe. Yeah, I mean I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna milk this one a little bit too much. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think that's the one that shocked me most. I think I'm hoping I've got that part correct as well. It did say players making the debut where the patch that will be in cards in 2031. So kind of copy it word for word. So yeah, kind of crazy. It's interesting. I do wonder if Panini will keep producing stuff to look up. We'll have an unlicensed era of Panini stuff. I think it's going to be very interesting these next few years for Panini, the route they go down. Does nostalgia kick in with Panini? Do people want Panini products more now because there's no more licensed prism, so they want the old, the older stuff, the licensed prism. I did something similar a couple of years back with Topps NFL. Even though there's players, obviously Kelsey, but there's players from before 2013, 2012 area. Yeah, especially for Chiefs, for instance, the Jamal Charles, even like Trent Green. Um, yeah, mine's gone blank now. This is the problem with recording in the evenings. But yeah, I just looked down relation. I got a handful of them there. Not so much Derek Thomas, but like Larry Johnson. There's numerous players in there that sort of mean something to Chiefs fans, and they're inducted as well, sort of Hall of Fame, and some are Hall of Famers as well. But them old school tops, like 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6 era, some really nice looking cards. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get them. They don't, you pick them up quite cheap, but just look beautiful. And I wonder if that's gonna happen again in a few years' time. There's gonna be a lot of Panini sets that people will look back on and go, do you know what? I actually really like. Look at some of these Phoenix cards, or a look of Flawless at the price right, or it could be a random insert in a set that people go, do you know what? I really like, really like this. I really know people might also really love Color Blast over the Helix that Tops are doing. Yeah, see, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. And now I said now we're gonna have this with soccer in the World Cup stuff. Is I hope Tops do sticker magazines, sticker books. I think people love that. It's a very good way for the younger generation to get in with sticker books. So I hope they keep up that tradition as well. But yeah, very interesting. Again, I think we all saw that one coming. But let me know your thoughts. Are you happy this happened? Is it just whatever? It's Tops doing Tops, Fanatics being Fanatics sort of thing? Will you miss Panini, especially the World Cup stuff? Will you miss Panini in general? Because it's going to be a tough road back for them, I think, personally. I don't know if unlicensed stuff will do as well. Like next year, they're releasing NFL Prism. It's all unlicensed. I don't know how. I'm intrigued to see what happens with the other stuff as well. Like, they're going to start trying to lease the players. Like, is that going to happen? I mean, another thing we've got at the moment with the Leaf NFLPA lawsuit, which we'll touch on in a second. But yeah, is that going to be an issue with Panini in the future? It's kind of like the Wild West at the moment. It's a weird stage. It's kind of hard to see where it's going to lie. I mean, I think if you look on eBay currently for the NFL Chrome that's come out, that many different variations and colours and subsets and stuff like this. It's crazy. I don't know where the market's going to lie on certain cards. Some at the moment are super inflated, which you always get the new set, but it's going to be interesting where it comes down to what sets sort of take the top spot, should we say? Yeah, what is the optic hollow? What is the prism silver? I did think it was going to be sort of the refractor stuff or X-fractors, but I don't know anymore. It's that many different colours, variations, like I said, and even numbered variations now, as well as the base variations that they're doing, the non-numbered stuff. It's going to be very interesting to see what actually people go, hey, this is the one. This is the colourway. This is the set. We shall see. And I did just mention the Leaf X NFL PA lawsuit. This is very intriguing as well. So they've obviously put a lawsuit in them against them, for sort of basically misuse act. I think it's going to be very interesting as it plays out and if it affects the likes of Panini in the future. So I'm going to read a little bit of it here. So basically, NFL PAV Leaf trading cards. The NFL Players Union accuses Leaf trading cards, which publishes cards featuring players, of misappropriating players' publicity rights as well as false endorsements. NFL PA is the exclusive licensing agent of NFL players' publicity rights for group licensing deals, which involve 6 or more players, allowing a company to use their publicity rights. It covers products, services, sponsorships, endorsements, and promotions within a 12-month period. The union and the NFL have licensed NFL related publicity rights to Fanatics for trading cards. Publicity rights include NIL, a popular term in college sports, but it's worth noting that NIL is only a subset of publicity rights, which extended to other commercially valuable aspects of a person's identity. For an NFL player, those rights include NIL, voice, photographs, animation, identities, autographs, jersey numbers, statistics, biographical information, and other uniquely identifying characteristics. So the question is whether Leaf is using 6 or more players in its trading cards, which is going to be a key question for Judge Robert E. Payne, who will preside over the case in Virginia Federal District Court. Leaf, in a written response to the NFLPA's request for an explanation, adopted the position that 6 or more active NFL players needed to be included on a single and specific Leaf trading card or in a specific Leaf advertisement in order to implicate the group players' rights. Interesting. So the NFLPA contends that Leaf is using 6 or more players in trading cards without a license from the NFLPA. The Players Association further maintains that Leaf did not even secure rights for many of the individual players to use their attributes on non-group basis, meaning 5 or fewer players. The complaint cites several Leaf trading card sets, including Leaf Pay Dirty Football and Leaf Metal Football. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and multiple other players, though not 6 or more on an individual card, appear in those sets. So there's a lot more written on, but you don't want to hear the whole thing. Very interesting, this whole thing, how it came about. It sounds to me, let me just move away from the mic right off. Because I did definitely, guys. Yeah, it sounds to me that someone at a certain company may have had a few words, with people up at NFLPA and said, hey, we got good terms, we treat you right, we pay you right. We're not too happy about this. Can you try and shut this down for us, leaving us out of it? You do your part in this. And here's the section that you can get them under and how you can do it. I've been a big fan of Leaf for a couple of years. They've not been the best this last year or so, I'd say, design-wise, but I think 21, 22 onwards, they've been really, it's only a short amount of time. They've had a lot of nice cards that have done really well on the secondary market. And, when at that time people were talking about not buying unlicensed cards, they were very good at getting rookies before they were in the league and getting them on cards with auto and other companies couldn't. So yeah, it's a shame this is happening to Leaf. Yeah, I've said this numerous times. I'm a massive advocate for the NFL/NFLPA, the NBA, and so on and so forth, all having set licenses at a set price, and every company can then decide if they want to pay the 10 mil, whatever it may be, the license for the year, and make products. And we as collectors, as fans of these cards, can choose, right? So Leaf had a really good set of NFL cards in 2026, and we didn't really like the Panini stuff in 2026. I didn't really like the top stuff or the upper deck stuff. And then next year you might be like, you know what? Tops have upped their game, and upper deck do really good, NFL or NBA cards going to be. And everyone should have the right to do the licenses, and we should be able to get all these companies putting their best work, for basically for us to sort of adore and collect and show off, right? But that's the problem with living in a perfect world. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out, and you have to people know that Leaf do a lot of those like crazy booklets, right? Where you get some you open it up and it's like 30 autographs or 30 bits of a shirt from all these different players. So it's going to be very intriguing. I would say this about Leaf, like a lot of their cards usually is just that one player. I think there's maybe a handful of cards off the top of my head I can think of where I'm looking at someone's card and there is numerous players in there as a background. Whereas if you look at Panini cards, a lot of times you can get like snapshot cards where it's yeah they can be surrounded by players or play calls sort of stuff. So I wonder if that would constitute in the future. And I wonder if this was something that'll happen in a couple of years' time with NFLPA versus maybe Panini. They say you don't have the rights to do these sort of cards no more. You have six or more of our players on there. You don't have this. Da, da, da. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. Yeah, I think the plus side is you don't have to worry about the sort of dual downtime that should be two people. But I mean, could that? Yeah, it's so crazy, so crazy. This little piece of cardboard, that we all love and cherish. Crazy. And talking about the cardboard we love and cherish, I'm gonna move on from sort of it's gonna be doom and gloom and a bit upsetting times. Yeah, lawsuits and companies losing licenses and new licenses coming in. So out with the old, in with the new, as you say. I was recently in Spain. I was actually, when you sort of plan stuff in your head, like, hey, I'm gonna be only away, get some sun here anyway. Oh, look, there's a card show in Barcelona, which is where I was. It was a couple hours drive. Obviously quick on the train, sort of nice. I can nip up there, extend the holiday. Didn't happen. It was a massive thunderstorm on the Saturday. It was kind of like Friday, and it wasn't as bad. And then Saturday was bad. Planes were grounded. The airport next to us just completely, it's a small one, just completely shut off flights for the day. Said, yep, we're done. Nothing's leaving. Everything's grounded. And so that's an airport. It's smaller. I think that actually closes at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, sort of thing. So they just sort of said, yeah, we're done. They have short like opening hours. The other one I was at, obviously a bigger airport, doesn't have a closing hours like time that I know of. They had just had us waiting. I was very, very much very closely to saying, hey, should we just get out of here, try and get some sort of mode of transport, maybe a train to Barcelona and extend the holiday that way. But yeah, it just didn't happen. I ended up just waiting on this runway for 5 hours, and then flew back home. So I didn't go to I can say Iberian, for the country in Barcelona, which I'm kind of good about. It's something I want to try and do, maybe this year or definitely into next year. Hitting up these card shows, especially in Europe, just spending long weekends over there. There's been a few that I've booked to go and had everything sorted and fell through last minute. Frankfurt one, for instance, when the NFL game was Chiefs played Miami Dolphins. Had everything sorted out. I had tickets to go to a Sports Illustrated night, which I ended up giving to Dan, who gave to, I think it's someone from MGC. So yeah, it's kind of like, a lot of these things it's just not really works out or fell through or something's happened. So yeah, I'd like to hope that, again, if cost of flights potentially going up through petrol crisis, then God knows. But yeah, I'd like to sort of hit some of these European shows up and just sort of blend it into our holiday as well. Sort of go and experience a different culture and read another page in this book, as you say, and chuck in a card show for a day, or or two if it's two, and just experience that as well and see where they're at, what it's like, gauge the market and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's interesting. But while I was in España, I thought I'd have a cheeky look. There was a few card shops that are on sports cards that weren't like a big thing. Similar if you come to Manchester at the moment, you're going to find a lot more sort of Pokemon shops or Pokemon TCG sort of shops, stalls sort of thing. I think that my closest one, off the top of my head right now, I can't think of the name, which is bad, but there's they have a shop within a shop. It's like a maker's market sort of thing, if that's a bit harsh. I can't think what it's called even now. It's like an emporium. Basically like a building that has a few different floors and they sort of rent out the shop space, right? So you can have a guy who does embroidery over here and a guy who's doing 3D printing stuff over there and a woman that, makes vases, or a gentleman that makes tea cozies, I don't know. And then, other floors, different things. But there's a shop in there or a store in there, whatever it may be, that has Pokemon cards. That's like my closest one. That's like 5 minutes from my house, sort of thing. Other than that, you just, I think there's one a bit further to as well. Like 20 odd minutes down the road. But yeah, there's nothing, like I couldn't, if you asked me where the sports card shop is in Manchester, we're screwed. Fanatics is obviously now gone. I think. I'm not even sure that's gone. I'm not even telling that one. But yeah, I just couldn't tell you where the nearest sports cards or where you get sports cards from. You maybe get some at Tesco every now and then, if you're lucky. More stickers though. But yeah, so I thought I'd have a look, and again, it wasn't much, but I did come across some Panini Adrenaline cards when you buy a Milka chocolate bar. There was only different ones. And funny, I actually did a video last time in this video because I found them. And I just didn't really talk about it. I didn't put the video out. I don't know why. And probably did do the same this one. I kind of recorded it half-heartedly. But yeah, it was really weird. I will I will actually try. Well, I say I will. I will try and post that video up some pictures. But yeah, it was. I got the Milka strawberry cheesecake one. Just give it a try. I don't know why. I just thought, I'll try. I know what I wanted the cards. I wanted to create a bit of content. So, which I've never put out, which is typical Pack Rip. And yeah, it's a nice big bar, but it's like the problem is it's obviously stop theft and stuff like it's stuck to the pack very well. So you have to rip the pack then pull it over, and then obviously the pack is stuck to the cell tape on the other side of it. And then obviously when you try and rip it off, that just ruins the packet sort of thing. So luckily it didn't do damage to the cards, but not the best. I like the idea of this, the whole it's a journalist who's not like the biggest set. But again, there's a lot of people that collect this and play the game. The flip side is obviously it's on a chocolate, which kids and this and the other, and I get that too. I get that point. It's another way of it's like the treat of cards, but the badness of chocolate. Because people want to get on that stuff. I'm more on the camp of as long as they're not overindulging in chocolate. Chocolate is a great conversational piece, right? You can have a bit of chocolate and talk and share with friends, and that's really good for your mental health as well. So I'm less stressful about that than the obesity crisis of people eating 50 milk bars to get these cards. But I've always thought this. I remember this getting cards and stickers like in the past, through different stuff like this, and Kellogg's used to do something similar. And I wonder why we stopped doing this now. I wonder if they'll start doing it with cards. We start getting cards in cereal boxes. Or we do with other big brands like Mars. I think is there not some sort of stickers at the moment in on the wrapper of like Pepsi bottle or something like that? I'm seeing. So yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be something we'll see more collaborations between the hobby and other industries. And will it start off with stuff that's more targeted at kids? So your chocolate bars, your cereals, your pops, sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how this does go. I liked it, especially on holiday. Pick up a Milka bar. Yeah, but just for reference, I didn't eat this whole bar as well in one day. Actually, when I shared the bar, it started up and it was in the fridge. And yeah, chocolate. I'm not a massive chocolatey guy, so just a row a day, row a night. That was it. I'm not overly like a chocolatey guy, so it was fine. But yeah, that's my little holiday snippet for you there. The chocolate bar. Maybe that should be the title of the pod. Went on holiday at a chocolate bar. Got some free cards. I think Pedri was the best one. I mean, they weren't the greatest cards. They're nice to look at, nice little cards, but they weren't. I didn't get no bangers. There was no big reveal that I can remember. Maybe they did one man's trash and all that sort of nonsense. Maybe someone will say, "No, that's a really nice card." But yeah, I wasn't like, "Oh my god!" Try and find some penny sleeves and salt loaders or a mega real soon and hunt them down. So yeah, but I just liked it. Again, second time we've done it since being over there, so maybe it'll be a little holiday tradition I'll continue. Hunting down Milka bars. I think last time, was it a peanut butter one I got? I can't remember. I'll have to go through the archives. Let's see what it was. I'll have to post out the video somewhere still. I can't remember what flavour I got. But yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Card Show. Hope everyone's well, and we will catch you next week. Any thoughts on this part of the discussions we talked about, please type them in the comments, send me DMs as always. We'll respond, and maybe I should do another pod soon on the Q&As I get. So look out for that soon, and I get some hosts and guests on soon as well. But until then, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. In between, I might release some content. I might not. You know how I'm like. But yeah, take care. Peace.